Jungkook surprised everyone when he went live at an unexpected hour. It was very early, and many believed he should have been resting. However, something was keeping him awake. Taehyung was coming home, and the mere thought of him being away was unsettling. Jungkook doesn't usually talk much or explain his feelings, but his actions always speak louder than words. That's why this live stream garnered so much attention. It revealed a side of him that clearly showed how much he missed his other half. And this is where many began to notice small details that made it even more evident. As the live stream progressed, Jungkook listened to songs that held special memories. There was a moment when his expression changed as soon as Taehyung's voice came on in the background. He closed his eyes, took a deep breath, and remained still as if he needed that sound to calm himself. He didn't say anything, but it was clear that it touched him deeply. For those who have followed Taekook for a while, these kinds of reactions speak volumes more than any lengthy explanation. And here's where it gets interesting: every gesture seemed to point to the connection they've shared for years. Among the songs he played, one stood out: "Open Your Eyes" from the musical The Man Who Laughs. Jungkook sang it with such a clear and calm voice that many were reminded of when Taehyung performed Morning Won't Come, a song that also conveys profound emotion. They have different styles, but when they sing these kinds of songs, they create a captivating vibe that makes everything around them feel softer. Interestingly, Taehyung's preferred music is usually older or more emotional, and hearing Jungkook sing it with such care made many think he understands tastes very well. This is where some said, this can't be a coincidence. The connection between these moments and the musical didn't end there. Taehyung saw that musical in 2022, when Park Hye-shin was in it. And last year, Jungkook sang one of her songs and mentioned that he had her contact information because she had promised to teach him some techniques. Recently, in another live stream, he himself said he wants to learn to sing like a musical theater artist. This sparked speculation about whether they had already spoken or if this interest stemmed from previous conversations. There's no confirmation, but the connection between these events caught the public's attention. All of this led those who believe in Taekook to feel more certain of what they see. It's not about grand pronouncements or direct declarations, but about small signs that appear when least expected. Jungkook doesn't need to say "I miss him" for it to be noticeable. It's enough in the way he sings, the songs he chooses, and how he reacts when something reminds him of Taehyung. And Taehyung, although not present, was also part of the live stream's atmosphere thanks to these kinds of details that always end up connecting them. In the end, this live stream made clear something many already suspected: when it comes to Taehyung, Jungkook shows a more sincere and transparent side. His way of expressing affection doesn't need complicated explanations. It's simple, natural, and appears in the moments when he lets his guard down. And for those who closely follow Taekook, these kinds of signs are enough to understand that the bond between them remains strong, even when they are far apart. Taekook has always shown, in a calm yet firm way, who he gives his heart to. This clarity is evident in many details, which, although they may seem simple, say more than some are willing to admit. Recently, in an interview, Taehyung mentioned that he's been listening to Summer by Brockhampton, the same group he had introduced to them days earlier with Any Way You Want Me. Mentioning them again wasn't accidental. They are artists he admires and whose essence resonates with what he wants to express. And yet, the most powerful aspect wasn't the musical recommendation, but the naturalness with which he made it clear that his only love is Jungkook. That statement came from him without any forcing, like someone saying something that has always been true. Sometimes it's surprising that there are still people who question it, because the signs are there, very present. They aren't scandalous or attention-seeking, they simply exist. They are in the silences, in the subtle mentions, in the way they refer to each other without thinking too much. Anyone who observes calmly notices it immediately. Their connection doesn't need speeches, just a little attention. And when you look closely, it's hard to miss. That natural way they choose each other every day is what keeps everything going, even when there's noise around them trying to muddy the waters. Taekook has gone through tough times that any couple would have felt like a burden, but they've always found a way to move forward together. They don't have to prove anything, but they do it anyway, unintentionally, almost unconsciously, in every gesture and every sincere response. That's why nothing external truly affects them. That bond grows because they both nurture it in their own way, even when there are hate campaigns, comments taken out of context, or manipulated content designed to create doubts where none exist. All of that only distracts from what's essential, but it doesn't change what they experience together. That's why it's so important not to get lost in other people's arguments. Just look at how they talk to each other, how they support each other, and how they mention each other in moments when they could keep everything to themselves. Taekook always finds a way to show the truth, without needing grand pronouncements. The way they connect is simple and direct, and those who have followed them for a long time can recognize it effortlessly. It's true that there will always be people who ignore that striking and honest chemistry. No matter how many times Jungkook and Taehyung connect in a way that can't be faked, there will always be someone looking for flaws or reasons to criticize their every move. However, the truth doesn't change because others deny it. It's there, constant, showing that what they feel doesn't depend on anyone else's opinion. Taekook moves forward because that's what they've decided. And, although sometimes the external noise tries to drown it out, the way they look at each other and talk to each other makes it clear that there's an affection that remains, an affection that doesn't break easily and that doesn't need embellishment to be noticed. Seeing them together always draws attention, and it's easy to see why. Jungkook and Taehyung have something that goes beyond simple friendship. Their energy when they're together is palpable in every gesture, every movement. Words aren't needed to realize there's a special connection between them. From the way they look at each other to how they laugh at the same time, everything seems natural, as if they can understand each other without saying a word. Every touch, every small gesture, reflects an affection that can't be faked, and that's what makes watching them so interesting for their fans. Whether they're on stage, filming a video, or simply spending time together, that closeness is palpable and impossible to ignore. Body language plays a crucial role. Just by observing them, you can see how they influence each other. Taehyung smiles, and Jungkook responds almost immediately. One moves, and the other seems to adapt effortlessly. They dance together without having practiced, touch each other without a thought of being watched, and laugh at things only they understand. These moments may seem simple, but they truly reveal how well they know each other and how comfortable they feel with one another. For many fans, these details are clear and moving, though they may go unnoticed by others. There are always those who try to criticize or find fault with their relationship. Some people ignore the obvious chemistry and look for reasons to discredit every gesture. However, that doesn't change the reality. What they feel doesn't depend on anyone else's opinion. Taekook continues on their path because they have chosen to, without worrying about what others say. The strength of their bond doesn't need external validation. What makes Taekook special is how they silently support each other. When one stumbles, the other is there, not to draw attention to themselves, but simply to be there for them. This closeness doesn't seek recognition, it simply exists. It's a constant refuge, even if no one mentions it. Every gesture, no matter how small, reflects genuine care and affection. Nothing is exaggerated, everything seems to stem from the habit of being together and the trust they share. Over time, it's become clear that their relationship doesn't rely on grandiloquent words or exaggerated displays. It's in the details where everything shines through, a smile that lingers a second longer, a glance that lasts a little longer, a touch that seems casual but speaks volumes. And those moments are enough for those who follow and understand them. These small details make every encounter, every interaction, exciting and precious. Although some may choose to ignore it, the truth is clear to those who observe. Their bond is constant and natural. They don't try to impress anyone or prove something that's already obvious. The way they care for and support each other is simple, direct, and genuine. It's easy to see that they feel comfortable together, that they enjoy each other's company, and that every gesture reflects trust and affection. There's no need for complicated words, it's all in the way they move and look at each other. Watching them together is like witnessing a friendship that has grown so strong it needs no explanation. Every action, every small touch, shows that they understand and support one another. And while it might seem normal to them, for those of us who follow them, every gesture is proof of how close and special their relationship is. Taekook doesn't need announcements or statements. Their connection is felt in everything they do, in how they look at each other, how they laugh, and how they care for each other without saying a word. That naturalness is what makes them unique and makes their fans want to follow every moment, attentive to every sign that shows their closeness.